Google I.O., what iOS 7 needs, Xbox 720, and where the heck am I going to be in the future? This is Ask the Buffalo. Let's go and get started. So our first question comes from Josh. Hey John, what are you expecting the Xbox 720 to have with it? With the announcement coming up in May, do you think it'll be superior to the PlayStation 4? Sony has taken the very first wraps off the PlayStation 4. You don't know what it's going to look like, and there's presumably a ton of new features they're going to announce at E3, which is really just coming up in few weeks. What we don't know anything about is its Microsoft competitor, the next Xbox. So I'd love to see a few things in the next generation Xbox. First, I'm super curious they put Blu-ray in there. Certainly Sony is one of the pioneers of the Blu-ray format. I think they have a majority of the seats on the Blu-ray board, so it'll be interesting to see if they're kicking back a little bit of money to Sony to use Blu-ray. I'd assume though, this is gonna be the last generation of consoles that relies on physical media, so it's gonna have Blu-ray to get those discs to have the size they need. The DVD format that the current generation Xbox has just ain't gonna hold it. So I'd love to see a bigger emphasis on social gaming. Some of the cool stuff the PlayStation 4 had, the ability to screencast games, have friends over the web take over your game, or really awesome innovative features. I love to see Microsoft offer something similar. I love to see Xbox Glass or Microsoft Glass, Project Glass, take a next step for what you can do for a second screen. They can do a ton of new things, and this one is probably never, ever gonna happen, but I love to see 4K games. Sony said PlayStation 4 is not gonna support 4K games from the beginning. I think that's a chance where Microsoft could really get some superiority. Granted, 4K gaming probably won't take off for many years, but these consoles have a decade in lifespan. So our next question comes from Twitter at WiseGadgets asked at John4Lakers. What do you think will be announced on Google I.O. this May? Last year we saw new Nexuses, we saw the Nexus Q, which came and went. Google Glass debuted. You're gonna see a ton of awesome stuff at Google I.O. So here's the list of things I think we can expect to see. First, next generation of Android 5.0 Key Lime Pie, yay! Next generation Nexus phone, perhaps the Nexus X made by Motorola. I think we're going to see some much more information on Glass and some retail availability aside from the $1,500 Explorer Edition. I think it's also expect us to see next generation Nexus tablets, Nexus 7, Nexus 10. So I'm super excited about what we might see from Google I.O. in May. And of course, check out technobuffalo.com because I personally will be there in the audience, bringing you all the latest I.O. business. All right, so the next question comes from Rahat Khan RK, also from Twitter at John4Lakers. What do you think is the main reason Android is taking over and iOS is falling behind? If you compare the iPhone 5 to pretty much every other Android device out there, it's still outselling it. Android has the market share because there are many more Android devices on every single carrier. So falling behind, that's up to the end user. I think that where they're falling behind though is in their perception. iOS is still a very usable operating system. It works well, it does what you need. What is falling behind is that the OS has stayed very stale. And not to say it's not functional, but it stayed the same essentially since 2007. So I think what you're trying to say is, will iOS 7 compete with what's coming up next? And man, I hope so. I really do. I miss the days of Steve Jobs with the angry Apple. I miss him getting up on stage and saying Flash is stupid. No one's ever gonna adopt mobile Flash. Even if you disagree with him, it was fun to have that fight. It made for a really entertaining story. I'm hoping whenever they take the stage again at WWDC and Tim Cook comes up there and announces, hopefully iOS 7, maybe the iPhone 5S or whatever else they do, there's some fire behind them. We can get some good competition because if things continue the way they're going, I think Android's gonna have some serious domination over the next few years. This one question comes from Matthew Bovney, who asked at John4Lakers, where do you see yourself in 10, 20, or maybe even 30 years from now? That's a tough one to answer. I have a hard time thinking what I'm gonna be doing 10 minutes from now. So 10 years will put me at a very whopping 43 years old. I hope to still be doing this. I hope to still be sitting in front of a camera talking about my love and talking about technology. I hope that you guys still give me the opportunity to do that and hope that I can still, be in touch with stuff that's going on. I hope to have a family, a growing family. I'll be in my 40s, love to have a couple kids at that point, still somehow be involved in technology, and I hope that I'm still at Techno Buffalo. So in my 50s when I'm 20, I hope to still be doing this, still talking about technology, but also I would love to get into politics. I've always had a desire to push change in this world. I don't feel that sort of my generation's voice in politics are really represented out there. I think most people think of politicians as liars and only out for themselves. I would ideally like to be in a position where I don't need a salary for my political job, where I could say I'm going to donate every cent of my after-tax income to a non-political, non-religious charity, and I can do it just because I want to help. I want to sort of pull back that veil on politics. I want to show what really happens behind the scenes. Why Congress is making problems that only Congress can solve, and that's been happening, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. The majority, it's just the way politics work, and I think it's disgusting. And I think that someone needs to talk about it. Even if I'm only fortunate enough to be elected one term, I love the opportunity at some point to sort of bring to light and sort of be a force for change. That's always been my dream. Who knows if it'll ever happen? But I love to make a difference. In 30 years from now, man, I hope to be maybe a grandfather. No, maybe not yet. Not yet. But I just hope to have a nice family, hope to have a nice life, hope to be doing something that I love and be surrounded by people that love me and folks that I love. I love to still be working. I hope that I can still talk about technology, and I hope that I can still sort of share my love for consumer electronics. I hope I can show you, the iPhone 26s and the Galaxy S17 or the Galaxy S40, whatever it might be at the time. I love this. This is a job, certainly, but it's a love. Every day I come to work doesn't feel like a job, and I hope that continues for the next 10, 20, and 30 years. Hopefully that helped answer your question. So we take a minute to thank our friends and sponsors at Jack Threads. You can tell I love me and my fashion by my plain gray t-shirt. Jack Threads has quickly become the online shopping destination for dudes. Here's why. Everything on the site is up to 80% off because full price is for suckers. Don't be a sucker. They serve up a ton of killer contemporary and street apparel accessories and gadgets from brands like Converse, Penguin, and Busted Tees. Shopping is stupid simple and all styles are curated, so buyer's remorse just don't happen anymore. And what's more, as a viewer of Techno Buffalo, you can skip the membership waitlist and get instant access at jackthreads.com/techno. Check them out, jackthreads.com/techno. So thank you guys for watching another episode of Ask the Buffalo. I hope you enjoyed. I'm your host, John Rettinger. Check us out at technobuffalo.com for all the latest and greatest technology news. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.